Well, you guys, I've been so excited to share something, and I've been holding it in, and I've been waiting for the details to get ironed out, and I'm ready now to share that I am going to be leading a pilgrimage to northern France next year in 2027. The dates are April 12th through 22nd, and it's not just going to be me, and I'm so excited to have with me someone that I work closely with, Father Kenneth Parsad. And he's going to share a little bit of his story, and we're going to talk a little bit about the pilgrimage today. So thank you so much for tuning in, and Father Parsad, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being willing to go with me and to venture with me on this out to France. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Justin. Thank you. I appreciate you.
So I want to start though by letting people get to know who you are, because a big part of this pilgrimage is not just sightseeing to different places,
Mhm.
but really it's about seeking the heart of Jesus and about allowing him to transform us. So you're going to be a big part of that with leading mass and perhaps, the sacrament of confession on a couple of occasions, maybe even the sacrament of the anointing of the healing. And so people know me. I want them, well, they may know you more than they know me. I don't know, but
No, they know
I
you
want,
more for sure.
I want them to hear your story. So take us back to your growing up and what has led you to become a priest here in the Diocese of Salt Lake.
Oh, that's a loaded question. I'm originally from the northern part of the Philippines, called Abra. I grew up there. It's a remote area, and it started. My vocation to the priesthood, of course, started in a very early age. My mom has a lot to do with it. She's kind of like she planted the seed, and yeah, it's a long story, but I attended the minor seminary in our province in Abra, and then continued to college and theology. And after theology, I thought so. It was 11 straight years in the seminary.
So
I thought that
you started that. When did you start that minor seminary? At what age?
ha, I started early, 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy because I think that's something I don't know that we have that here in the United States where you have like kids going to, I mean, we have Catholic schools, but not like this track training future priests. So that's something that's super unique.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that there are still very few here
Mm.
in the U.S. I don't know. I actually don't know, but there are some minor seminaries in the Philippines. Yeah, it's where they send their kids to in hopes for the priesthood, but more so it's the training there is really good. It's like a military, but with of course a lot of the religious aspect in it. It's like going to a boarding school for boys, but it's religious. We
Mm.
do the liturgy of the hours.
Mm.
We have a dorm.
So
It was
you're
fun
like
though.
living like brothers, like
Yeah, living
monks.
like
Yeah.
brothers. Yeah. Hmm.
All right, so keep telling us. So what happened after minor seminary? When did you graduate from that at 18 or?
Yeah, it was 11 years straight, from minor seminary to theology. I finished the whole at least the required studies for the priesthood actually. But then I decided, I thought it wasn't for me. I thought it was my mom just pushing me to the priesthood, and so I left for a while. I was out of seminary for 7 years, and then when I decided to return, I got an invitation to Utah, because there's a need. Father Rodell invited me over here. He said that there's a need for more priests here, and then sure, why not? And I tried, and I'm here.
And so then, excuse me, you attended seminary in Oregon. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. So when I got to the US, I wasn't ordained right away because the protocol is, if you came over here from another country or from wherever really, you'd have to spend at least 2 years in seminary because it's the seminary formators who recommend you for ordination. They
Hmm.
have to make sure that you're good to go, you know. So I spent 2 more years in seminary in Mount Angel in Oregon. It was a good time as well. I really enjoyed my time with the community there. It's run by the Benedictines. I mean, yeah, we have an abbey near to the seminary. Yeah, that 2 years, and so that's 13 years actually, all in all. Can you
13
imagine
years
that?
of
It's a
seminary.
lot of years.
It's a lot of years. So, yeah, that is.
The Lord the Lord needed me to be formed in more years, you know.
um, So, and one of the cool things, Father, is that you spent part of your pastoral year of service over at St. Mary's, where I was on staff, and so
Mhm.
I got to work with you and serve with you, and that was a lovely thing. But then the big surprise for me, the delightful surprise for me, is when you came on staff and you are now the parochial vicar at St. Mary's, and
Mhm.
which means you're also the parochial vicar at St. Lawrence, and you do a lot at the St. Lawrence Mission where I work.
Mhm.
And so we get to work really closely together, and it's been such a joy. And I couldn't think of anyone better to ask, hey, I'm doing this new pilgrimage. Come with me,
Yeah.
Father.
I mean, it's been a I mean this. It's been a joy working with you, Justin. You're really a gift to our community here. So thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Well, I think and that goes for you as well, and Father Das.
Mhm.
Um, but we're missing a big part of your story, Father, and that is,
I know there's a lot
you know where
more.
I'm going with this, right? So when you were in the Philippines, I don't know what age you were, but Pope Francis came and said mass there at our celebrated mass with you guys in Manila,
Mhm.
and you were chosen to sing the responsorial psalm. So walk me through that.
Yeah,
Forever
that was
I will
that's a top that's the
sing
best experience in my life really,
of
up until
the
now. Maybe, yeah, maybe
goodness
of course the ordination is
of
number one,
the
but that's one of the most pivotal moments in my life. Yeah, so I went to this seminary in the Philippines for college and theology, the University of Santo Tomas Central Seminary. And we'd have because Saint John Paul II actually came to that seminary and celebrate mass. We actually have a relic of him. He used and we're still using the chalice in our community that he used in if I'm not mistaken, it was in 1995. So we have pictures of Saint John Paul II in our hallways, and when I remember my first weeks in that seminary, I would look at those pictures and I would just whisper to myself like, wouldn't it be nice to to get to meet the Pope and actually like serve in his mass? And after 7 years, I was given that opportunity. I don't know. Some they just chose me, and yeah, I still remember the date. It was January 16th, 2015. Yeah, and yeah, it was a wonderful experience, um, and it was definitely a pivotal experience for me because it brought a lot of healing as well in my life. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I think you were chosen for a reason. You have an incredible voice, and I'm definitely gonna put that YouTube video so we can all hear it. But afterwards, I mean, if you look for your name on YouTube, you see all of these news interviews and things like that. So what happened after this? Like, how did I don't know. That seems like a crazy story. I want to hear
Oh
the
yeah.
details.
I mean, there's also like a backstory, inside story in that I was when I was about to go to the pulpit to to proclaim the psalm, to chant the psalm, I was really nervous. I was like literally shaking. I was shaking. Was yeah, but and I was just praying, please, Lord, Holy Spirit, just help me get through this. I just want the people to understand every single word.
Hmm.
Help me try to pronounce every word so that people will understand. That's my and I had another prayer though. I I pray that I hope that Pope Francis just looks at me when I bow in front of him, and He did not. But the crazy thing is that the Lord answered that prayer because I was praying that Pope Francis will look at me because I was thinking of like, can you imagine just the Vicar of Christ on earth just looking at me? It's Jesus looking at me, and I wasn't given that. He didn't look at me. I thought I saw him move his head though, but but the Lord answered that prayer in a very different way. He still looked at me, but through the eyes of and through the voices of the thousands of people who messaged me after that, you know, so after that papal mass in the Manila Cathedral, I received a lot of messages. I was surprised when I got back to the seminary. If I'm not mistaken, I even walked going back. It was a long walk going back to the seminary because all the roads were closed. Yeah, so I walked, and then when I opened my Facebook account and my social media account, it just blew up like hundreds and hundreds of messages, notifications, and everything. And yeah, it was crazy, and it was just an outpouring of love and appreciation from the people. And I said that the Lord answered my prayer in a different way because He's showing me, Kenneth, this is how I love you. And I just sang, nothing really special. Everybody sings. And but
Not everybody
somehow
sings
the
like
people
you.
somehow the people kind of like were inspired by just that a few minutes. And it's amazing how the Lord can work in a few minutes, so it just, and I told you like it brought a lot of healing in my life as well, because it's this outpouring of love from God. And then I realized that that's the starting point actually of the Christian life. That this God that we have loves us so much. Our value does not rely on what other people think or what we think about ourselves, but how He looks at us. How He gazes into us, and that changes people. And that's how I think the Lord Jesus changed the sinners that He encountered, because He looked at them with love. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I know there's a lot in there. But yeah, it's one of the most pivotal moments of my life. Yeah.
Now, you were given some record deals, if I recall, right? Was it in response to them seeing you sing this at this mass?
Partly, it was like a snowball effect, I would say. So I sang in that the Manila. You would not believe I received a lot of like offers or whatever. Even
Really?
I'll not even I'll not mention those, but I couldn't actually accept any of the offers, and I don't want to because I was in seminary at the time, but I was already on my way out. Actually, kind of like really set me up also going out of this, taking a break from seminary, and I was invited to a lot of a few of interviews, TV interviews, channel interviews, and that's kind of like where the music label kind of discovered me. I sang one song in a morning show, and then they reached out to me. When they reached out to me, I was already out of seminary. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so all the interviews that I went to, they were really sifted. Everything, all the interviews were approved by my rector at the time. I have to obey, as you know, so I need to
Right.
obey my formators. So
Wow.
everything was channeled through my formators, and he had to approve all the interviews. I was really hesitant, but I'm a shy person.
He was like your agent.
No, no, I'm not as natural as you, Justin. Yeah,
No,
so
no.
yeah. So I got that recording label because of one of the interviews that I made, that I went to. I sang in that interview a religious song, and then they reached out to me. Yeah.
Hmm. Did you consider having a career in music and touring and all of this stuff, and or were you like, hey, I'm set on the priesthood? Like, how did that play out?
At that time, my main work at that time was actually in the university. I was teaching in the same university where I went to, and that was my main work. The music part was really just a side thing for me, so I wasn't able to focus that much in that. I was able to we were able to record one album, an inspirational one, but that's pretty much it. I wasn't even able to do the mall tours. It was I was supposed to do mall tours, but I wasn't able to because I was just working. I was just working the university. It took a lot of my time.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
teach, you prepare a lot, and with all the slides, slideshows, and it took a lot of my time. So I it's impossible for me to find kind of like where can I place that mall tour. And the big thing too is that I'm shy all to the mall tours.
I I think that makes my eyes twitch thinking about like performing in malls and things like that. So
No, that's not for me. Yeah, and just imagining it like no, no.
no. Well, I'm so glad that you chose the priesthood over mall tours. So thank you.
Yeah.
What so I know Father Rodell, he was a parochial vicar. He had your position
Hmm.
in the past at St. Mary's in St. Lawrence in Park City in Heber, Utah. Uh what made you decide to respond to him and come all this way out into the middle of the mountains?
Hmm. Oh, that's a really good question, and it's his invitation really, but there was also something in there. There was a challenge for me, and it's good to challenge ourselves too. And there was a need. That's number one. There was a need. He really particularly told me that we need priests here. And when I came here, it's like, oh yeah, we need a lot more. We are growing too. I was talking to someone yesterday, and he told me that I think Utah is one of the fastest growing. We have a lot of converts in Utah, and I was
Hmm.
surprised about that. I didn't know about that statistics, and so it's the invitation, the need, and here's the thing too. When people ask me this question, I would be honest that I really don't know the like because I don't see the big picture yet, and I
Hmm.
often say that the reasons why we respond to certain calls would be revealed in time. So I'm not yet there where I can really give you like why here. I was invited. There was a need. I don't know if that's a good enough answer. They accepted me though, so yeah. But
Uh,
it's been wonderful. I mean, it's been wonderful to be here. It's a huge blessing to be in Utah. You know that Utah is a beautiful, beautiful state.
it's the best
It's
state. It's the
yeah,
best. It's
yeah.
the
It's the best. All the things that we can do here. A lot of work too, but beautiful. Mountains. We can ski. We can do everything. Hike,
That's right. Play
bike,
pickleball. That's right.
play pickleball. We have a lot of good courts in here.
That's um when you came to the di the Diocese of Salt Lake, excuse me, were you surprised at how, or did you already know how many other Filipino priests there are? Because I think that's something that's really surprising, how many international priests we have, particularly from the Philippines,
Mhm.
who are here in the Diocese of Salt Lake. And a lot of that is to fulfill that need that we are a
Mhm.
growing Catholic Church, but have
Mhm.
very few priests.
Yeah. Yeah. To your point, we're growing, but and we need, of course, local vocations. That's ideal. But for now, we have to rely on international priests, and so that's why they needed me to come over here too. And the Filipino priests here, we've been growing, and I think we are 10 right now. I was. Uh, I mean, I wasn't surprised. I just because when I came here, it was a lot less Filipino priests. I think there were just four or five. But ever since I came here, 22, it's been growing. Yeah, we've got some Filipino religious from religious congregations. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Father, I wanna talk about upcoming pilgrimage,
Yeah,
and super
which
excited.
I'm
So,
very excited. Man, me too. I'm very excited. Well, thanks for inviting me for this one.
oh,
I really
my
appreciate it.
pleasure. My pleasure. I'm like, I get to work with you every day. Like, I can't imagine, like, it's gonna feel so natural, and I'm really excited. So, I want to kind of break down this trip, and we'll kind of go piece by piece to give people a
Mhm.
preview. So this trip is really, it's called the Saints of France. So we'll be visiting a number of cities and really focusing a lot on the saints, walking where the saints walked, going to
Mhm.
church where they went to church, seeing their lives and seeing Jesus through them. And there's some amazing saints on this list that we'll get to see.
Yeah.
Another aspect of this trip is that it's not, we're going to see a lot of different cities, but um, we're only going to stay at like, I think it's three cities.
Mhm.
One, two, three. Is that right? Three, four cities? Four cities in the course of what is it, almost about 10 or 11 days. So there will be some day trips. And that way, you don't have to live out of your suitcase. You can kind of get settled for a few days before we get up and travel. It also gives us some time on the bus to have talks, to do
Mhm.
uh, pray the hours together, things like that. So um, that's kind of more of the philosophy. Even though we're going to see a lot here, it's definitely we're going to be stationed in a few different cities where we can kind of get settled and
Mhm.
learn our surroundings rather than staying here one night, staying here one night, staying here one night. All right. So we depart from the US. Part of there's a link in the show notes. It will have all of the details where with everything, including where you can see the pricing, where you can see what's included, what's not included. Definitely what's included is a flight from Newark, New Jersey, over to France, but you can work with the agency that we're working with, which is Select International, and you can go from anywhere. So if you want to, if it's more feasible for you to travel from Phoenix or Seattle straight to Paris, you can arrange for that to happen. So, excuse me. We arrive in Paris on April 13th. So this is a Tuesday. We'll have an English speaking tour manager, and he will be with us for the entire trip. I don't really know my way around France. I lived in Spain, but not in France. So
Yeah.
you don't want me being your tour manager. But then we're gonna take a ride to Lisieux, and we're gonna visit the home of Saint Teresa the Little Flower. Now, Father, I know you have a particular devotion to her, so tell me about your devotion to her, why that is. What about Saint Teresa really speaks to you?
Yeah. I'll speak a little bit more about this when during the pilgrimage, but it started when I was in minor seminary. When I was about to graduate, I was in a point in my life that I was struggling, and she was just right there. Her relic visited our minor seminary. That's how I got to know her, and so it was really out of the way. But our Monsignor kind of like pulled the strings for it to happen, and a miracle happened actually with me. So I'll
Hmm.
share more about that miracle. But it started my devotion to her. I read about her life, and I identified so much with her. It's like when I'm reading her writings. It's like I understand what she's going through. It's kind of like
Hmm.
maybe we have a little bit more similarity in the personality. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she really resonated so much with me. So I'll share more about that during the pilgrimage. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll spend the night in Lisieux, but actually before that, so all of every day we're going to have private mass together. And so that first mass we'll be celebrating at the Convent, and we'll be celebrating mass led by Father Parsad.
Yeah.
But we're
Wait,
also going to visit oh, go ahead. We're going to say.
yeah. I'm sorry. This is the Carmel convent that we're going to is the convent she attended, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but we will also get to see the Basilica of St. Therese and the
Oh,
crypt as well. So that'll be part of our stay. We'll sleep there in Lisieux. The next day, April 14th, Wednesday, the third day, we're going to go to the beaches of Normandy. So this is, of course, the big turning point in World War II,
Hmm.
D-Day, when the Allied forces attacked the beach of Normandy and really broke through the Nazi stronghold, and that
Hmm.
was kind of a big turning point with World War II.
Hmm.
And so we'll celebrate Mass near Omaha Beach, and I think that'll be an amazing experience. It doesn't really have there's not like a church or relics that we'll visit or saints or anything like that, but certainly a really important point in world history.
Yeah, in history. Yeah.
We'll return to Lisieux and we'll have dinner there. We'll stay there overnight again. So that'll be our second night in Lisieux. And day four, this is what I'm probably the most excited
Yeah.
about. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Mont-Saint-Michel, and it is just a gorgeous place. Um, and
Um,
go ahead. What were we going to say?
how did you always like to, how did you get to know this place?
I I I've always seen pictures and I just
Okay.
have always been enchanted by the pictures. But then I was part of a book club, and one of the books we read, it was with a couple of other Catholic guys, was on Mont Saint Michel.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I was just drawn to it. So I'm super excited to go.
Yeah.
I think it'll be amazing.
I mean,
Um
yeah, when you sh send me the picture, it's like, wow,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
We're going to And the cool thing is that we're going to celebrate Mass at the Abbey
Hmm.
with the monastic community there. I think that's what I'm just so excited about, is not just seeing these places, but actually being able
Yeah.
to celebrate Mass in them.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Hmm.
How does that feel for you? Like being able to you're gonna celebrate Mass in these places like as a priest.
It's gonna be surreal for sure. I have to, I have to compose myself for sure, and not to get too emotional.
Yeah. Like looking around, like
Yeah,
that's
it's
it's
gonna be amazing, but more so with the people that we're gonna spend time with. So
yeah, for sure. And then we're gonna, excuse me, go back to Lisieux. We'll spend the night there as well. And by the way, breakfasts and dinners are included in pretty much all every day. We'll have breakfast and then dinner will be included. I think there's one night where dinner is on our own, but other than that, it's there. And as we're walking around the city, you can get little bites for your lunch and everything like that. So it'll be a great way to explore the city. So day five, we are going to stop in Rouen, and we're going to retrace the footsteps of someone I'm very fond of, Saint Joan of Arc.
mhm.
And Saint Joan of Arc was pivotal in ending the Hundred Years' War between France and England.
Just retracing the steps of Joan of Arc, that's gonna be a very prayerful thing.
Then we're going to head overnight. We're going to head to Paris, and that's where we're going to sleep overnight. And the next day, we'll be at Notre Dame, or we'll see Notre Dame. But then we're going to celebrate Mass at a gorgeous church up on the hill, the Sacred Coeur, the Sacred Heart Basilica.
Hmm.
What are you excited about in seeing Paris? This will be your first time in Paris, right?
Yeah, my first time in Europe.
Oh wow,
That's what this is gonna be very meaningful to me too. It's my first time in Europe, and our very first day is gonna be in Lisieux. Ooh. What am I excited about Paris? Paris? Beautiful. Like I've seen it only in pictures. Some of my friends went there. I've seen pictures. Beautiful. They always say that Paris is the city where you fall in love. Okay, we'll fall in love with the Lord, sure. But it's gonna be beautiful to see the Cathedral of Notre Dame, of course. See the Eiffel Tower too. You know, So a lot of things.
All right, so after we see all of these beautiful things, we have, I think, a whole afternoon to visit the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, um, which are all beautiful things. I really like Paris. I was
Yeah.
surprised how much I really enjoyed being there. But then
Also, so
oh, go
you've
ahead.
been there. So you've
I
been there.
have.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but only for a couple of days. It was part of a European trip that my family took. Um, but then that night, we're gonna do a special dinner cruise on
Yeah.
the Seine River. So, all right. Uh, Day 7, we are going to celebrate Mass at the Chapel of the Miraculous Medal. So we'll see the incorrupt body of Saint Vincent de Paul, and then we're going to take the train to Lourdes. It's kind of a longer train ride. Tell us a little bit about Lourdes and why it's such a significant city.
It's one of the major apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It has a lot of following and devotion to it too. And maybe after the pilgrimage, I'll
You'd be
be
a
a
Lourdes
devotee.
expert. Yeah. Well, the cool thing is that on Monday, day 8, we'll celebrate Mass and visit the Basilica and the grotto where Our Lady
Hmm.
appeared to Saint Bernadette. So that'll be really exciting.
Yeah. Hmm.
I was at Fatima last year, and it's just so uh, you really just get the sense that you're walking on this thin space where heaven and earth have collided in such a unique way. And so being there and praying the rosary, if you've never been to a place where there was a Marian visitation, it's really otherworldly.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to experiencing the same thing
Yeah.
when we get to Lourdes. Yeah.
That night we'll stay in Lourdes. So overall, so far we've had 3 nights in Lisieux, we've had 2 nights in Paris. We will have 3 nights in Lourdes. And on day 9, April 20th, we'll celebrate Mass, and we'll have a day of full of prayer and devotion. We'll get to visit the baths there in Lourdes, be submerged in the miraculous water. We'll do some shopping, and then we'll be able to join a candlelight procession there in the evening. From my understanding, there's like a candlelight procession there every evening, so we'll actually get to do that on a couple of occasions, which will be
Hmm.
really good. And then day 21, after Mass and Lourdes, we're going to depart for
I mean,
Toulouse.
you mean
Oh,
day 10?
day 10, April 21st. Unless we, get lost.
Gonna be 21 days in France.
Lourdes.
It would be nice.
That would be pretty nice. Yeah, yeah. So following Mass and Lourdes, we're going to depart for Toulouse. And Toulouse is famous for a couple of things. One is this is where Saint Dominic founded the Dominican order. I know that you're pretty fond of the Dominicans, correct?
I have a love for the Dominican order because I was formed by the Dominicans for my college and theology. So yeah, I have a special love of the Dominican order, Saint Dominic and Saint Thomas Aquinas. I mean that's the university where I attended was University of Santo Tomas. So
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
so
a it's
cool.
a Dominican run university. So I have a special love for Saint Dominic, Saint Thomas, the Dominicans. Yeah.
And speaking of St. Thomas, we're going to see the Jacobin Church where St. Thomas Aquinas is buried. So this will be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was buried in France, and so
M-
it'll
Me
be
too.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was surprised. I didn't know that I mean, I should know. I should have known maybe that he founded the Dominican order here in Toulouse. But yeah, when I saw this, like, wow, that's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this truly is a trip where we get to journey with the saints and of course journey with Jesus and see Jesus through the eyes of the saints. The next day is our trip back to the US. So that'll be the 11th day. We'll return back to the US, and we'll say farewell to each other. But I think I anticipate that through this we're going to make lifelong friends.
Yeah, because we're gonna be pilgrims and pilgrims together in northern France, and we'll be together for like 11 days, and we'll get to know one another. And maybe Justin, of course, the people we're inviting are a lot of them are gonna wanna they wanna hear you speak, and
Mhm.
maybe you can mention how and where in point would you be able to share your knowledge or wisdom to them.
Yeah, so great question. So what I think will probably work best is we have these kind of longer bus rides together, and what I
Mm,
envision happening is we can start the bus ride with praying the Liturgy of the Hours together. I think that would be really cool, where we have
mm.
the left side of the bus
Oh yeah.
saying, and then the right side of the bus doing one thing, one side of the
Uh,
bus following me, one side of the bus following you, and
yeah.
and pray the hours that way. I've really enjoyed, we've added the lauds to our 8 a.m. mass at
Mm,
St. Lawrence, and
mm,
I really enjoy it. There's sometimes it's just a handful of people that stick around, but it's a beautiful way of starting our day,
yeah.
and so that's what I anticipate. But then after that, that'll be a time where we'll do a little bit of a talk on a particular Catholic topic. Maybe one day I'll share my story. Another day
Hmm.
we'll talk about some aspects of the sacramental world, or things like that. I actually one of the things I'm hoping to do is to get some input from those who will be coming on the trip on what topics they would like me to hear,
Oh yeah.
like to hear. So
Good
they want to
idea.
hear
Yeah.
a talk on the Deuterocanonicals and why we should trust the seven Deuterocanonical books.
Hmm.
We can do that. Or if we want to talk about the four Marian dogmas,
Hmm.
how to talk to Protestants about Catholicism, things like that. And I want to stress that this trip is open to Catholics, as well as maybe people who are Catholic curious, as well as people who are on their way into the Catholic Church. So a wonderful way of
Hmm.
preparing for the sacraments of initiation is through pilgrimage, and it's part of that journey and that process.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But I'm also pushing to get a concert with that you will give us.
Uh, there's one condition.
Sure.
You should also be joining me there in the concert. Because
Okay.
Justin, for you guys, Justin is also a fantastic musician. Okay, he's like jack of all trades. That's why I said that he's. I'm building you up here now, but it's true. Justin is one of the most talented individuals,
Ah,
and
yes.
it's a blessing that he's using his talents for our church. Yeah,
Hmm.
so he's a fantastic musician as well. So there's one condition: I'll do that only if you also do it.
I'd be delighted. I'd be honored. Yeah, we'll do a little duo concert together. So that'll be so fun.
Yeah,
Um, so that's the pilgrimage. A couple of little logistical details. So, like I said, go to the link in the show notes. All of the details are there. But we'll also have a informational gathering time, a Zoom call where you can ask questions with the group people. There's a lot of things that we don't know, just because we're leading the maybe spiritual aspects of the pilgrimage, but the logistical aspects, that's all something that this organization Select International is doing. So far, I've been super impressed with them.
hmm.
And the last thing I want to do is lead people to Europe and get stranded somewhere. So, so I've been really pleased with the responsiveness and the details that they've put together, and the way that they know these trips inside and out. But they'll be able to answer a lot of questions that you have. You can also call them and ask any questions about, oh, what's included? Oh, I have these dietary restrictions. All of those things
Hmm.
they'll be able to iron out for you for sure. And again, the most important thing is if you have a need, please make sure that you let them know so that they can make accommodations and arrangements for you ahead of time. And they'll be more than willing to do that. Um, and then the other thing that I want to do is leading up to the pilgrimage, I would love us to have I plan for us to have some periodic Zoom calls for anyone
Yeah,
that can make it, where we can just kind of get to know each other just
yeah,
very briefly, but also spend time praying together and
yeah.
preparing our hearts for the pilgrimage. It's kind of like mass, right? Like you get out what you put in.
Hmm.
And preparation is a big part
Yeah.
of pilgrimage. If you're just coming in and you're not really prepared, um, that's what you're going to get out of it. But if you come in with this kind of expectation and this open heart, God, please work in my heart. It's amazing what He does. And I'll just share briefly a pilgrimage I took last year as I was going through a personal crisis. I think it was in early March of
Hmm.
2025. I went to I went to Spain to help some friends move to Spain, but they actually lived right between Santiago de Compostela and Fatima. And so I got a chance to go there, and I just took it as an opportunity. Every day I'm going to go to daily mass, and I told them, I was like, my goal is to help you move, but also to go to Santiago and to go to Fatima. And I would say that there was really no moment that was like this eureka eye-opening moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like this the fireworks or anything like that. Even at Fatima, it was very, very subdued. But it was all the little things that
Mm-hmm.
happened in that time that really added up. And when I came back, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm a changed person. And even someone at St. Mary's that we work with said to me, Justin, when you came back from that pilgrimage, you were a completely different person than when you left. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that, but it was just that time that Jesus was
Mm-hmm.
working on my heart. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the power of pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Father, please, what are your thoughts? And you can close us out with that.
I mean, well said. There's not much to say after what you said. But I'm really excited for this trip. I mean, even the Lord Jesus went on pilgrimages to Jerusalem. So it's a wonderful way, really, it's a spiritual pilgrimage. It's a spiritual journey with people, with our baggages, with everything that we have. And yeah, as you've mentioned, it's a journey to the heart of Jesus, right? And yeah, we'll be transformed by this pilgrimage, but we have to prepare. And yeah,
I love it. I love
I'm
it.
super excited.
I'm super excited too. So, Saints of France pilgrimage with myself and Father Parsad on April 12th through 22nd, 2027. We hope that you will be there as well. God bless you guys.